What is going on, people of the internet? For those of you here in the good old USA, man, you're not used to seeing Ryan in the middle of the day, are you? I'm everywhere. Welcome to the ChatBot Podcast. My name is Ryan Baggott, and I'm glad you're here today. We are going to be, again, with someone that's going to bring immense value to your life if you're about that chatbot life, or if you are into digital marketing at all, or even if you're a business owner. It's just good to know some of the things. And today we're talking about some more of the advanced things that you can talk about in this chatbot game, which is APIs, guys. APIs. And we're going to be talking with one of the best experts that I know in this realm. He is the API guy, all the way from the UK. That's where we're going today. We're going to go right now to welcome Mr. Pete Fennell. What's going on, Pete? What's going on, brother?
Hey, guys. How's it going? I'm good.
Man, I'm so glad you are here. It's like I always tell these folks, I want to bring out the gangsters. I don't know if you've ever considered yourself a gangster, but in the API world, man, you are that guy. And I'm glad that I was able to convince you after many, many weeks to join me on this show. This is a busy guy, and he's in, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the reasons I was like, man, I've got to have this guy on the show. He's in the shed. In the shed. And I hope he'll talk about that in a little bit. And as a matter of fact, Pete, why don't you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do now?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Hi, my name's Pete. I live out here in the UK, little island. I think most of your viewers are probably US anyway, and out into the Far East. Anyway, so my name's Pete. Yeah, I spent 15 years in the British Army, and nice. I transversed into this whole digital scene, which is really, really new to me back then. So I started around about 7 years ago, just with the kind of normal social media management for local salons, all that kind of jizz, just getting my kind of foot under the door into that kind of world. We had some great successes, believe it or not, being such, wet behind the ears and new into the social media realm. And then we kept that going for quite a few years. We tapped into, obviously, the ads and been running some ad campaigns for some great clients. Had some great successes there as well, some huge ROAS. So I know the guy previous to this episode, he had like 30x ROAS. We've had over 100. On ours
whoa,
anyway. So, yeah.
Whoa, Kyle, I'm gonna make sure Kyle watches this. That is incredible. And if I'm not mistaken, there is an interesting record you've got. I don't know if you want to share that or not, but like when you told me that, I was just like, the last thing I was expecting was to like be completely blown away. I was just expecting just a little bit. I was going to be like, wow, that's awesome. But it's no, guys. This thing's big. Back to you. Sorry.
Yeah. So two kind of records, hopefully that is still standing, is using bots. Obviously, I move on from I digress from the social media stuff. So when bots first hit in February, March time, 2017, we're pretty much the first few into ManyChat. I know there's new kids on bot now, but still my favorite platform is ManyChat. And we really hit it hard going. 2 seconds, sorry. Really hit it hard going. So we had one client who was a pop star, which really helped. The page was only 54,000 likes and followers. So we run a campaign, organic campaign on there, and we done 11,000 comments in literally less than an hour on that, using the comments growth tool. Because as you know, if you're commenting on people's posts or people are commenting on your clients' posts, then it's going to start giving you that kind of organic virality on there, keeping the post, optimum at the top of page, top of mind, and putting that kind of share factor in there. So
there's 11,000 comments, is what you said?
Yeah, I've got a blog somewhere. I think it's like
11,600
from that. And as a result of that then trebled her page following up to over 110,000. Wow. Now about a year and a half, 2 years later, she sits on just over 2 million. She's the second most viral page on Facebook history ever.
Wow.
At least something you go check her out. And also that tapped us in then working with some even bigger clients. Ricky Lax, who still has the most viral page on social media history ever, the old magician guy. So we've done some work with him. And then that connected us with some amazing other people, Amazon FBAs, and that's where we kind of hit our next kind of record. We sent out just under, I think it's 460,000 messages, and we done $11 million in sales from that. So, which is crazy. Yeah, that's in one broadcast on a $49 product.
That is truly remarkable, man. I told you, man, they thought I was playing, Pete. They thought I was going to just bring some randos on this show, man. No, sir. Only the best, dude. That's huge. And I want to point out something that you just mentioned there. Big wins get you more wins, right? So what he's saying, guys, is in this first client story with the celebrity, he crushed it so well, demolished it, that it led to bigger jobs. And that is a key thing for those on the opposite side of the spectrum. As Pete, you're not so advanced, you don't have so much amazing experience under your belt, and you're wondering, well, how do I get my first client? I think that you've first got to figure out the thing that you're offering and the client and understand it so well. Give it away sometimes and get a case study, because once you've got the success numbers once in a system like the systems he and I use and what you'll use if you use chatbots, they're easy to duplicate and replicate once you've got a system for the most part. Now, that said, Pete, here's a question for you. Do you think with the changes and not even necessarily on the ad side, just the organic side, do you think that success, had it never been done back then, and tried the same, apples to apples comparison today, would it still have that same effect? Or do you think it would be still powerful, but just less? Or do you think it could potentially be more? What are your thoughts on that? I think it's just an interesting way to look at the evolution of the platforms we use.
Yeah, it is still effective. We're running client campaigns at the minute who are still getting hundreds and into the thousands of comments on that, and using the kind of like really simple viral share flows with inside of the bot flows to share out the content and all that on their posts. So creating that kind of virality there. But as kind of a lot of kind of bot marketers out there, if they're most are very new out there also, they tend to kind of really use Messenger as a lot of people use Messenger right at the beginning on literally spamming, because we had the kind of thing, whereas there was no broadcast limits, or no 24+1 rule in. There was nothing like that back then. You could literally send 1,000 messages a day to people if you wanted to. So there's kind of really no restriction process in that. And we knew it was kind of coming in the future, but they can't allow this, because this will kind of really kill Facebook ads, because there would be no need for ads once you've got to that certain kind of lead generation point, especially let's say ad lead. Up into the 2 millions, there would be no point running ads, because we wouldn't have to grow the page anymore. We just have to kind of push the clients down that kind of customer journey to flip them into sales.
That's an interesting thought too, really quick. I just want to ask you, it's not all the time I get to speak with someone who has so much experience, and it's amazing that you've done what you've done. When you're looking at the ability to send a message, do you think that there's any way to use the methodology of gaining the client's phone number and email in a way that makes growing a page unnecessary? Because where I'm going with this, Facebook, I've heard, I don't know if you've heard this as well, I heard that they're taking away the like button next year. As far as liking a page, like you have the like and the follow now, and sometimes you're automatically following the page depending on what you're doing, how you're interacting with it. for years they told us to build your likes, to build your following, because that's how you were going to reach the people. And now we see such a huge, it is a squeeze on organic reach. It just doesn't happen the way it used to, even if you have to look back 10 years. So do you think that, I actually love the fact that with a chatbot, and we'll talk about why chatbots next, I love the fact I can pull the information that they give to me, the email or the phone number, and then not ever have to spend money on Pete again if he's in my loyalty club, for example, right? I mean, that's just kind of my methodology behind it. I think just that was never thought of 10 years ago.
Yeah. So like data transfer between software platform, obviously has made a whole lot easier now with the bot platforms out there right now. Whereas before they weren't so kind of integrated. You had to kind of really create the code and everything else, like to populate your other systems, your other CRM, your email providers, that kind of thing.
Such a good point.
Yeah. So and don't forget that we had I don't know if most of you guys probably won't remember this, but back in 2018, we had like a 3-month outage of messenger bots. We couldn't use them. We could build, but they wouldn't go live. There was a big outage for 3 months.
When was this?
I think it's like mid 2018. Yeah, you couldn't like let you do nothing, which is great. But yeah, it's crazy times. But that got a lot of people kind of really building some amazing things back end. Hopefully on the relaunch of bots, it was every single platform was down. But as for that kind of data entry point, it is necessary to get emails. When I first come into bots, I was like, I don't need to use emails anymore. I don't need a website and all those kind of things. But reality kicks in a few months later. It's like, yes, I can't rely on a singular platform to be there forever. Because we know that accounts are getting banned left, right, and Chelsea. It's just one of those things. But having that kind of data entry point and collecting that data and spreading it across multiple platforms of data capture, Google Sheets is a great place. You're never going to lose your information off that unless Google ban you for some kind of reason. And just using that data then to populate as many CRMs or as many kind of EMS platforms that you can. So you have that pool of information if required and when. But capturing, for me in the UK, phone numbers, we don't really capture phone numbers too much.
And why is that? Is it an expense thing, or is it just not a thing that's like common yet? Why is that?
It's not a thing that's common. The whole SMS marketing and things like that. We don't. I haven't had any clientele apart from my US clientele wanting anything to do with SMS or anything like that. But it's weird, but I don't use SMS marketing. There's a lot of businesses, I don't know whether it's just the UK, they're very prehistoric, even mentioning things like automation or messenger bots or email campaigns. It's above their kind of remit, and they're just not willing to kind of look inside that.
Totally. So go on that. You're so right. And I just had Steve Green on a couple episodes ago, my buddy, founder of PMQ Pizza Magazine, and he told me, you won't believe this, and I know you've probably built who knows how many websites for people out there or clients. I'm sure you've done that. I've done that. That was how I kind of like made side money in colleges to build websites until I figured out my whole deal. I feel like, where this technology is going, it is just so unknown. And I still think we have got it figured out in messenger communication, or even better yet, omni-channel communication. I think that is the way to go, where 2 years ago, I didn't even think about that. And you're exactly right. When I first started messing with chatbots and specifically MiniChat, like the thing I thought was cool is, okay, keywords. Cool. I can make something, reply. I don't think back then, though, I just understood the power. Yeah. And now it's kind of what I want to get into is like, first off, where did you first learn about chatbots? Why did they like intrigue you? And then why do you still deal with them? Because I could have just stopped, and I did stop actually for over a year, because back in 2017 or 2018, that's when I as well like saw it for the first time, thought it was cool, but then I was like, on to the next one, So how did you get involved with chat specifically? Yeah. And then let's get into some more advanced stuff.
Sure, man. So when chatbots first come to social, we were straight onto them. We kind of turned them off for like a couple of months and then revisited. And then we just got really playing, with the messenger platforms and just bending it and see how far we can actually push these things. And it wasn't until we started importing dynamic galleries from Google Sheets and all those kind of, because that's only like 12 maybe 18 months old now that you can do that, but we were doing it years ago. Same as the whole loyalty system. We built complete robust loyalty systems. Me and my ex business partner, we built a loyalty reward system out in Romania called Loyalty AI, and we generated literally thousands of businesses within days. It's still running now, but we had to turn it off because they changed the QR codes, which is a complete pain in the ass. We had thousands of flyers printed and all those.
Oh, you used was it the Facebook QR codes?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh no! Why would you do that, Facebook? I remember. I remember that.
It was like, oh my god, we just the only thing that the company was really or the loyalty program was costing us was the subscription to ManyChat. That was it. But hey, it's just one of those things. But yeah, going on back to where was I? My memory's crap.
We were talking about the loyalty programs and how.
And bringing like dynamic galleries.
Yeah.
And it weren't until we kind of really understood the sheer power of what you can actually do. Because back then we just had like things like basic sequences. There was barely any integration. There was no Google Sheet integrations. There was no nothing. Everything was kind of Zapier and Integromat. And then we started building custom code inside Google Sheets. We created the first code to update Google Sheets directly from a bot 2 years before they even brought that out on bots, which is great. So we had thousands of people using that, which is great. So it's saving them money inside there. But yeah, it wasn't until we really hit it hard, and I spent a year. I took a year out to learn bots inside of literally inside out. The whole kind of AI communication, effortless software integration with other platforms. That's where we bring the whole API aspect into it.
So like for those that don't know, and like for me, I've said it so many times because it's true. I dove in head first in chatbots in January 2nd of this year. Like stopped everything else for the most part. I was like, this is what I'm doing, because I see things differently. I think we're 5 years ahead of the game still. And so it's like, for me, the success of being the first business out there to advertise on Facebook, for example, years and years ago, the success that they saw versus what they saw today are going to be different in so many means, that even if you just look at the money spent, the reach, right? If you're just looking at simply the reach, I think that we're able to get such incredible conversion rates. And shout out to some of my clients. Sally from TOs, she's got some awesome things going on. She was one of the first restaurants I introduced a loyalty program based off of chatbots this year. Crushed it. And we're going to ramp that up again here as soon as the island where I live here on Hilton Head comes into the slower season, although we've been slow kind of all year with this health crisis deal here. And then I've got chatbots selling thousands of dollars of deviled crab online. I want to like totally go head to head with HelloFresh and with some of these clients that I have, because they have the product and the resources to do that. And even if it's a local thing, it could be so fun. Just to see the information on what I used to report on, guys, was reach, impressions, clicks to the site. At times I could account for actual paid conversions for some clients, but you just don't know what you don't know. And if you have 1,000 people click from your Facebook ad to your website, unless they do something, you do not know their first and last name. You don't. Right? With chatbots, all that is done. If they're in there, you can have a conversation, and that's for me, it's basic stuff. I want to offer a thing, get the consumer to do the thing, and now I can have a conversation with them. I can pretty much be sure I'll get them to convert, if not immediately, within X amount of time. What this guy does though is take that concept and take it to an entirely different level. So where I was using automation in the beginning of this year, it'll get you to point A to point B. That point B might need to end up somewhere. There might need to be a point C somewhere, for example. What he's able to do with APIs, and I'll let him talk on it, is skip pretty much all the manual processes, because things just talk to each other. But Pete, you're the expert here. teach us some things.
Yeah, so I can literally talk all day all about API. Obviously, I'm self-taught API. I didn't do any courses or anything
So
like
cool.
that. We've built multiple software platforms now, including my SaaS and things like that. But using API, a lot of people are kind of really, what's an API? Especially inside of bots, you get the external request, dynamic request, all those kind of different things. And obviously, if you're not too sure on API or that kind of level stuff, is that you'll obviously naturally migrate to Zapier, Integromat, or any other kind of integration software platform, and then that's at a cost to you or a cost to your client, or however you bundle your packages or prices to your clients. But having really simple, basic kind of knowledge about basic API. We talk about basic API all the time. I shared some inside of the Silver Box group the other day. Some guy was asking how to get information from the bot into his CRM. So I went to the CRM he was using, the CRM I don't use, and I said, here, that's all you need, and that will transport all that information from bots into the CRM effortlessly, without any third-party integration payments or anything.
And so in that situation, what was we don't have to talk about what the exact CRM is, but for those listening, saying I have a CRM, what can I do? Was it as simple as just using the key, just pasting in the right API keys, and then you're good to go on his end, or did you have to actually do some work?
Yeah, you have to do some work.
Yeah, look at that. So in the case of like Zapier, guys, if you're using any legitimate platform of any size, for the most part, you're going to have a way to make a zap, which is automate something with another tool called Zapier. That's in most cases there. Once you've got the API built on the back end, anyone can just copy and paste the keys and it works. And in the case of something custom, where maybe this person that Pete helped was using a CRM that just wasn't so widely used, at least in our industry, then it takes his smarts and his brain power and time and energy to create pathways for these systems to talk to each other. And it's just like almost over my head. I can't really speak on it more than that. So aside from having, I guess in his case, pushing data from the chatbot to another system, what are some other use cases that APIs are useful for?
Anything, literally anything.
I love hearing that. Anything is possible. So, yes.
Yeah. So to kind of really break down API in the most basic nutshell ever is with APIs, there's different kind of requests. This is what they're called. So you get like get, push, post, put, and all those, delete, and all that kind of stuff. And each one of those do different things. So if you think about when you type a search into a search bar, say on the internet, you type in google.com. Okay. So what you're doing there is you're posting out something to get a request back. So Google will receive that get request, okay, and then they will push out a post request, which is the domain of google.com. So that's kind of how easy it is, in a really basic nutshell. But you can literally do anything that you want to. So let's just take chatbots for instance. So let's just take ManyChat. ManyChat doesn't have a native integration with MailerLite, I don't think. No, with MailerLite. Okay, so you don't need that. So you can use simple, really basic API. You go into like the MailerLite API, have all the documentation there to do that. And like myself, I update all of my bot clients into my own CRM, or my clients from their bot, they natively go straight into his CRM, and that's all API. And the great thing about using API is that we all know that if you use Zapier or Integromat, they've always failed or always errored out at some point, and it's like, man, why did it error out? And that error could literally cost you $1. That error could cost you tens of thousands or even millions of dollars. If it fails. Whereas API, there's no failure, and they're faster too. So an API call is something like 0.3 seconds, which is like nothing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Think of it this way, guys. Like for the real simpletons out there like myself, we have to really break things down. You're still talking so large and in charge, man. You're so smart, and some of us, we have to have visuals. And so look at it this way. When you're receiving information, guys, like you ask someone, hey, when do you want your table reservation to be? Like, you want to make reservations for this restaurant? Great. Tell us about it. When do you want to make it? Right. So the guest could say, well, especially if they're using Dialogflow, which is built into TTT. It's like, okay, I want a reservation for next Wednesday for 2 people at 7:30. Right. What's able to happen with API access versus a Zapier is, in one case with a Zapier, the information is collected. Maybe it's sent to a Google Sheet and then bam, zap it into a CRM that you use to put the information there. Now, if one thing goes screwy with that zap, with the way that the third party is talking to one another, aka the person, the middleman, think of how many things you could tell a friend to tell another friend. Does it all get translated every time accurately 100% of the time? No. And that's the same thing with Zapier, and same thing with Integromat. Unless you're perfect at it, things can happen. And if you run out of money on that credit card, or the credit card date expires, guess what? So everything stops.
Yep.
When an API, he's saying that doesn't happen. And that is why they're so valuable. And in the restaurant world, API access is critical if you want to integrate your chatbot with a POS system, which is a whole nother ball game in itself. But this is some very, very interesting stuff. Now, with all of your clients, is API necessary? Or are you not? In some cases, you're working with people or businesses that just need something simple. Or do you only take cases where it's like, listen, I'm not building you a reply bot, but if you need to do something awesome, I'm your guy. And AKA, it's going to cost more.
Yeah. So obviously, having 4 a bit years under our belts of building the automations within bots, we don't touch anything under £1,000 or $1,500 that on initial build. Some of our builds go into 5 figures just for a singular build and things like that. But we don't build just bots for clients at all. We build the full ecosystem. So that's the website talking to the bot talking to the website, the email system, webinar platforms, booking systems. Like my current client at the minute, so they're using a booking software called Bookable. They've got a great API within inside that, so we connect everything together: the website, the booking system, the bots, everything. So everything's talking to each other. So basically, it's an effortless ecosystem. And once it's built, it's literally just hands off and managing, and that's it. Which is best, really. If you just want to build sole bots for people, I would strongly recommend don't offer one-time builds. Because it will just bite you in the ass. Always offer a management, and there's multiple ways you can price it to make it look more appealing. When we send out invoices for £10,500, like, oh my god, that's crazy. But when you break it down to them and things like that, so it looks more attractive on that side of it. So, but yeah, it's all about connecting everything with everything, because yes, bots can be at the top of the funnel, bots can be in the middle of the funnel, bots can be at the bottom of the funnel. But you really utilize the landscape of what bots can actually do, also API and everything else, and use that as a complete marketing system or complete ecosystem, with inside of your business or with inside of your client's business. You can use bots, yes, great for lead generation, amazing for lead gen on social media. Is your client more savvy on YouTube? How are you getting your traffic from YouTube into your bot? If you go from YouTube trying to get into a bot, you have to click on that get started, or you're going to send them to a website where it's a little bit more effortless for them. They can scroll through, claim a discount via Messenger. Let them know that they're going into Messenger. Just pre-warn them. Don't surprise them, and put like a m.me code behind a bit.ly link, and then they click on Messenger, because the first thing I do is, as soon as I see that Facebook Messenger, I know it's a bot, and I'll click straight back out before it even hits me.
And why is that? Just out of curiosity? Because I love hearing this insider stuff, man. Because I'll tell you this: most people, they'll never know. They see a link, Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but for us, I'm very careful about what I click as well. And unless I know the person, I'm not going to go inside and check out their chat. But I get dude, it would be insane if I showed you the private messages I have that not even opened
Yeah.
I know that's what they're wanting. I see the link there. I'm like, if I don't know you, I'm not clicking that. And that's how you guys should treat your customers. You need to be totally upfront and transparent with what you're doing. It will be appreciated. And if you're more transparent, you're going to have a better conversion rate. Because if they, for example, and this is the case where in America that I found, at least in my part of America, it's like, number one, they don't know what Messenger is capable of. They have no idea that such robust automation and things can happen. They have no clue. They hit a link and then boom, Messenger's open. They don't understand sometimes that the get started button's right there at the bottom. They're just, oh, cool, blank screen. That was weird. How did Messenger open? That's what people are thinking. We are so in it. We don't, it's at least for me, it's hard to think backwards like that. Like I'm thinking of all the things to do, going forward. Missing a step like that is critical, guys. That's why that greeting message is so important. That's why icebreakers or conversation starters, whatever you want to call them, are so important to have it when it's necessary. Yeah. This is some good stuff out there. Now, let me ask you, who is your ideal client? Because there are people all over the world and doing all the sort of different things watching this show, and we're all connected in some way. And so I'd love to know an ideal client for you. And maybe if I have someone in mind, I can send them your way, man. That'd be the hope.
I don't have an ideal client.
Anyone with money.
Well, yeah, basically. But yeah, I've always been told by other marketers and these big influencers all over social media is to really niche out. I know your TTP is obviously that's 100% niched there, but I tried the whole niche thing, but that doesn't kind of resonate with me. I'm quite good with all businesses because their kind of marketing ecosystem is all the same. It's just a different front page, whether it's a salon, whether it's a gym, whether it's an architect or a lawyer. The kind of the whole marketing thing is pretty much exactly the same.
It is, and I make a point of saying that too. Like, as funny as it is, I don't feel like I need to know everything about the things that I'm marketing a lot of times because of the way things work together so well. And if you've got your funnels, scenarios down, you can apply that, especially with Messenger ads. Like I guess, I know there's a big thing that happened recently with Messenger ads across the pond. I'm not exactly sure, but over here, the Messenger platform and the Messenger ads are the ones that is the campaign options that people are sleeping on. Guys, like you need to know who your customers are. Would you rather have 1,000 people look at your video that you'll never know who they are because you just see the numbers, or would you rather have 100 people saying, "Hey, do you have tacos?" And then like giving them the instant ability to purchase said tacos or make a reservation? Shout out again to Sally over at Tia's. I want tacos now. I'm very hungry now. Man, I'll tell you, and I want to go back one more thing too, because it's just I put it on the screen because it was so important. Don't spam your people, guys. Do you think, Pete, that the novice mini chat users and chat fuel users and all that, do you think they're the reason that the 24-hour rule became a thing?
Yeah, 100%.
Because I don't think they came out and said that, but I obviously believe that as well. Like people just ruined it, so we can't have nice things, that whole idea.
When we first started, we started a podcast just like this, but we called it Botcast.
I like that. Yeah.
Botcast. Yeah, it's quite
such cool. A marketer, such an advertising marketer.
And everybody we spoke on to the, before we got on a podcast, we vet them first, and we just asked them some key questions. And if they were a spammer, then we wouldn't just have them on the show. We just, leave them be sort of thing. But there are some crazy spammers out there today. I still get tons and tons of messages off, I can't mention names, but I still get messages off them, and they're just sell. And it's like, how are you even still on Facebook? Personalization, you touched on personalization with their name and things like that. And what we find really, really great, I wrote a blog about personalization on how it increases up to 68% in conversion rates, just having personalization, and how we effortlessly, obviously easy enough to pull the user inside of the chatbot as they're coming through the chatbot flow. We keep our flows so short. It's crazy that it's not even worth having a chatbot. But as soon as we got their name, we populate that inside of the funnels, inside of the website, so we can really, really personalize that website kind of journey for them. and that really increases the conversion rates on that. And having like now you've got the easy ability to have the conversion metrics, conversion pixel, all that kind of stuff inside bots now, whereas that wasn't possible before. So you had to kind of build something that fires that pixel, so you could add them audience and all that kind of cool stuff. But having that kind of basic tracking on there, on seeing if your client asks you how much revenue has that chatbot made, and you're like, I don't know, I really don't. If you can't understand where that traffic's come from or where it's converting from and to, then you need to kind of really understand and study that a little bit more and see how you can really put that into your business or your clients' businesses, because
100%.
having those metrics nailed down is very key, because you could be broadcasting out messages or pay traffic to everybody, whereas you might have a pool of say 10,000 people who have visited your website where they're super keen to buy from you, but just not yet. And having just having it really nailed down for your clients, and it's just if you're getting more traffic from Google, you start running Google ads. If you're getting more traffic from a different referring website, then go to that referring website and say, hey man, can I run an ad to your email subscribers? Yeah, sure. It's like $2,000. Cool. It's probably going to make you 100-200 grand off the back end of that. But yeah, so influence marketing, again, that's really cool. We struggled with the Instagram influencers with the transition from Instagram into Facebook Messenger, but that was way back. I'm not sure what it's like at the minute.
I'm working with a couple people myself in the influencer front. I'm trying to create some influencers that some of them are influencers. I can't afford the rock stars yet, Pete. I can't do it, but I can afford what I can afford. And so like I'm looking at people. This is an up and comer. This is an up and comer. I want this person. I want this person. So I'm trying to get them early, because I think that's something that if I believe in the right people early and they do get big, I think they'll have my back. Like I've had theirs. It's kind of the philosophy there. But I'm going to be doing more of that in 2021. That's an actual goal for me, is to get more less of my face out there. People are tired of seeing me. I'm tired of seeing myself. But it's just the word had to get out somehow. We'll get a much prettier face than mine. In 2021, hopefully lots of them, and hopefully they're all selling TTT, because that's the next step here. It's been an interesting year for chatbots in general, and I think although we've seen some negative things happen in some capacity, I think on my end, at least the way I'm looking at things, I see nothing but a million miles ahead, a million miles an hour ahead. I think that we're on the forefront, we're on the cutting edge of this, and it's like we're the first people that are building websites when websites aren't like mainstream yet. When I walked into the university, Pete, I don't know if you saw this piece, walked into a university, asked the question with random college kids there, don't know any of them. I'm like, how many of you guys have a smartphone? All of you, great. How many have Facebook? Awesome. How many of you also have Messenger? And then which one do you use more? I was astounded when they said Messenger. It made me feel great. I'm like, yo, I'm in the right place. And then when none of them, maybe one, I actually think zero people saw any automation as what I had showed them what Tap the Table could do. And it was a basic stuff. So it just tells me we're just so far ahead, man. And you're so far ahead of so many. And I saw you help that guy in the group. And that made me so happy to see, because and I'm in a lot of groups. You are too. I saw you beasting out in the Integromat group. I see all the things, man. I'm everywhere. And
they're doing my head in at the minute, man. I'm trying to make a broadcast request through iOS apps, but the app's not working, so it's really frustrating.
That sucks. Well, that sucks to hear that. But what I love to see is people helping other people that don't know each other. You'll never meet a lot of these people you're helping, and you're making an impact. And to me, that's what it's about. It's solving the problem, helping the fellow person, helping the business, and you do a great job of that, and we appreciate it. So we'll end really quickly on your plans for the rest of the year. Got anything going on for Black Friday? And then do you have any big things you can reveal for the first time here? You heard it here first, folks, on the ChatBot Podcast for 2021.
For Black Friday, not for me personally. A lot of my clients, we've been pushing their Black Friday campaigns since about 2 weeks ago now. We started early. So we're just going through the kind of pickup process from that after the announcements of winners and whatever campaign it is, and rolling that straight into another upsell. And also pre-sales before Christmas, and then we go into Christmas promotions and for clients and things like that. So we're already mapped out all the way up to March already. We kind of really think, we always think 5-6 months ahead anyway. Any kind of marketing promotion, we minimum 3 months. Personally, our SaaS system, we're just about to launch email and automations, which is far better than ActiveCampaign, believe it or not. So that's coming out really soon. Hopefully Black Friday, that should be coming out. Apart from that, no, that's me. But 2021, my vision is to get another 2,000 users on my platform, and that's about it really. That's where I'm at. Yeah,
slow on your level, man. I gotta get on your level. Yeah. I haven't hit 1,000 yet. I haven't hit 500 yet, but it's coming. Slowly but surely, man. I've got a different.
That's it. The thing. One thing I'll leave is.
He's gonna drop knowledge on me. Personal knowledge. I need this.
Some kind of wisdom. So there's a lot of marketers out there, and I done the same right at the beginning. And a lot of marketers out there trying to connect with everybody in the world. Everybody. And I live in. So I'll say the quote first. So it's. What is it? Big fish, small pond. Be the big fish in the small pond. There we are. So where I live, literally 10 minutes that way, there's 300,000 local businesses. 10-minute walk. If I was to get business even with half of them, that would make me in around about 8 to 9 figures a month inside that. So I can keep my ads targeted, very local, which is cheap for me. I can also walk around and do the follow-up, the remarketing, that kind of jazz. And then what we used to do is we used to go in and visit them, get their data off them, email address, then we used to retarget them. Pretty much, obviously next time they go on social media, they'd see us, but hey, thanks for let's come into your business. And they love that, and that was key. But that's a huge
guys, take that away from this guy's dropping the bombs, man.
Yeah, that was legendary. That converted more customers than anything is.
Anything.
A simple survey platform, and have your retargeting ads banged onto, as soon as that information is inputted, they're going into your custom audience, what you're running ads to. And it's like, hey man, thanks for letting me jump into your business today. It was great to meet you. I know we didn't have much time to chat, but if you click the link below, let's book a call. Instead of being that cold call, hey, let's book a call on my mindset thing. No, we'd already gone out there, talked to them, and the amount of bookings we had was ruthless, absolutely ruthless. Awesome. So it's just getting out there meeting people, but be the big fish in the small pond. Your local area, obviously depending where you live. You've got enough money there. Viable money as income through whatever you're doing. Bots. We've created so many bots for our local businesses. It's unreal. I can't even count the amount of bots we've created for them. But and then it's just word of mouth, and they'll just say, hey man, have you seen this messenger thing? It's like super cool. It's saving me so much time. Oh yeah, what is it? I'll go and see this guy called Pete. And then we just have basic templates, like welcome templates, and that's it. Just a basic lead generation. Really simple. Something where they can capture email, phone numbers, and whatnot, and give them a link to a Google Sheet inside the flow, and say, hey, this is a staff flow. Here's a Google Sheet link. This is where your information is going to go straight to. There you go, and they're happy.
And that's what it's about: is making the connection, a conversation that converts, and making people happy. Yeah. I think that nails it. I think that's the perfect piece to end this spot on, man. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm so thankful, and thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. That was definitely some of the most. We haven't talked about this much advanced stuff since Vince was on the show. Vince is my boy. He's always doing database stuff that's over my head. Lots of times I was asking him for help on a problem yesterday, as a matter of fact. I looked to see if you were online, but our time zones are so different. I was like, no, he's sleeping. I'm not going to bother him. Here's this rabbit hole question that I have. Yeah. But man, thank you so much for joining us. And sure. I'm sure you'll get a lot of people asking questions. I'm so bad about looking at these chats, and this thing's streaming in like 6 different places. But I'm sure they'll be able to find you and bother you about this and about that. But hey, if they're asking you those kind of questions, you might want to know them because it's advanced stuff this guy's on.
Yeah, if you want to know some basic API moving data from another platform, from a bot to another platform, let me know. I'll send you the script. If you tell me what platform it is, I'll send you the script, and there you go, it's done.
He's got automation that just does it for him at this point. He just like snaps his fingers, and then the NFC chip hits, and then he's there. All right, man. Yeah. Cool, well, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Guys, thank you for watching. We will have another episode very soon. Hope you have a great week.